Oh boy, another beautiful day. Let's get busy. Oh, get out here in the sunshine, that feels good. Tavish is at work today, and if you remember how hard of a time we had pulling the motor out of Midnight Maroon, I'm afraid we're gonna have that same hard of a time, if that's how you would say that, putting the motor back in if we don't pull the transmission out and mate the two together before we put it in. I think it was the angle of the transmission and the angle of the motor mounts that made that so hard to actually yank out. So today, oh, and we're gonna pull the transmission out to clean it. Might as well do that while it's out anyway. So that's my goal today, get the transmission out, start cleaning it, and getting it ready to mate up to the shiny new engine that's in there. Tavish, miss you, kid, wish you were here, but progress has to continue. And there's the transmission. That's the goal, get that sucker out of there. Got to pull the gear shift and remove any other linkages. The speedometer cable attaches to that as well. Obviously the drive shaft out the back. And then I believe there's just a couple of bolts that hold it in place. 4 or 5 maybe, probably 4, I don't know. First task has got to be getting that exhaust out of there. Nailed it. Exhaust is out. Put it over here in our little boneyard area. Next, I got to clean up under here because I don't want to lay down in all that crap. Wow, how's that for a pile of garbage? Let's do that again. Make another mess. That's the back end of the transmission that goes into the driveline. I've treated everything with AIM penetrating lubricant like I always do. Helps get these bolts out that have been in there forever. Look at that. 1/2 inch. Oh, that AIM stuff is amazing. It just flat works. Look at that. Even though they're rusty as can be, it just pops free. No good, no more. Lover, lover, lover. Did these red alarm as well? Done, son. What's gonna happen when this thing starts to move? Three 3/8. Holy crap! That's a lucky guess. How many more on the other side, huh? Anybody tell me? Who can see? Hey, there's one. Alright, now what's it gonna take to bust that loose? A pry bar, that's what I need. Luckily I have one handy. Ooh, it is glued in there pretty good. Seam sealer, what's in there? Almost like super glue. Oh, there we go. Come on now. Let's go. It's always smart to stick your fingers in there when you're not sure how hard it's going to pinch back on. Let's do that a bunch of times, should we? Feels like I missed a bolt, but I didn't. There we go. There we go. All right. Ooh, that is yummy. Let's get that cleaned up too. Just what Midnight Maroon needs is another hole in the floor. That's perfect. Whoa, 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 that transmission's loose. Gently. Ooh, hey, there's an electrical connection I wouldn't have seen otherwise. Oh, so it's a good thing I took that cover off. Note to self, put that back on when the time comes. Tranny should be loose. Well, this is not going according to plan. Well, I kind of didn't have a plan, but I should have drained the transmission before I started this. I started jacking it up and it rolled to the side, and then it dropped off the jack, and then it started coming out of the speedometer hole. And as I'm trying to shimmy it and shake it and get it out the front of the engine bay, it rolled again, and now oil's coming out of where the stick shift goes into the transmission. So it's almost completely upside down at this point. Not what I had planned. I didn't think this would be this difficult. I've got the cherry picker holding the motor, so I was going to use that, but that's occupied at the moment, so I still may have to figure out how to do that. Get that engine to stand up so I can use that cherry picker. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I'm going to keep fighting it probably for a little while. It's been, oh, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 minutes or so at this point. It's bleeding out. I've got carnage everywhere. It's perfect. Let's keep going. Oh my gosh, I finally gave up. I had to use the cherry picker, but I got it. I think I could have gotten it if I had had an extra set of hands. But anyway, transmission's dangling there. Let me get it the rest of the way out. I'll take a look at it. And there it is in all its glory. Pretty dirty. We'll get that all cleaned up. It doesn't need to be the prettiest, just make sure it doesn't have too much rust on it and whatnot. That transmission is solid as can be. I love that thing. It's a workhorse. And then down in the engine bay, or underneath the transmission, it may be kind of hard to see that, but that cross member right there is completely just covered with a good 1/4 inch of just tar. Nasty buildup stuff. But this will free up the entire channel back there so that we can treat it for rust, get it painted so it looks pretty, and protect it again for a very long time to come. But Tavish is super excited. We're at a point where it's starting to almost go back together. We'll be driving this by spring. That is the goal. We do have a lot of work cut out for us, but we are up for the challenge. Show you what I kind of had to do here. I've got this thing sitting precariously on jack stands with 2x4s underneath it. Not the best, but when I went to lower it, the engine wanted to tilt this way. So I just put a tie down up around under there and then back over to the engine stand. So I gave it a good little wobble check before I disconnected the cherry picker from it to make sure it wouldn't tip over and do damage to anyone or anything. Seems to be secure for now. I got to get that thing cleaned up, set on the ground, and then I want the cherry picker back over the top of that just to protect that. That's just one pass with the scraper. Got a lot of scraping to do. Just like that, I'm out of time for the day. Get this covered back up, and me and Tavish will get to work on cleaning that transmission and then mating the two together, engine and tranny, preparation for reinstalling.